we've got our featured prelim of the evening in the middleweight division. We've got Tom Breese versus KB the Bengal Bhullar.
This fight is interesting. These guys are both big 185 guys. Speaking of big 185 guys, Zach, these guys are both big guys.
F all that. We're barely the same breed. We want to talk about equality. We want to talk about equality. There is no equality when it becomes athletes. We're not even the same species of human, okay?
Both big guys.
It's funny because I look at it from the opposite perspective of the thing. I see these guys fighting at 185. Like I see Bhullar fighting at 6'4", 185. I couldn't cut 65 pounds. There's not 65 pounds on my body that I could remove from it in order to be in a fucking martial arts fight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where they pull it from.
I'm going to kind of take a page out of Macio's book and echo what he's been saying all night or all day that we've been on here. A lot of these dogs, Bhullar's a plus 210 underdog in this fight. Depending on how you like to bet, Breese has the experience, although he hasn't been very active. He did have a loss back in February, and then he didn't fight again. He fought again last in 2018, and then took a 2-year layoff. Hadn't fought
back 2-year layoff.
Yeah, so he's got quite a bit of delay in there. He did do some grappling tournaments, but he's got a lot of experience in the UFC. So if you like the experienced fighter, then I think Breese is the way to go. Bhullar, he's bigger. He could cause him some problems. I'm going to lean more towards Breese on this one because he is the more experienced fighter. I think he ends up getting it done by second round knockout, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bhullar causes him some problems and ends up ending the fight either.
Yeah. I would tend to agree. I think Tom Breese is probably the better fighter. I wasn't really able to see too much tape on KB Bhullar, but from what I did see, he's got some nice clinch strikes, some pretty good kicks overall, some nice knees in the clinch as well. But definitely the value is on KB Bhullar just because the line is just so ridiculously wide. I do think Tom is probably the overall better fighter here. But like you said, he's coming off back-to-back 2-year layoffs. He's a former 170-pound fighter. He's pulled out of fights before. He struggled with mental issues, anxiety, and things of that nature. The only reason I bring that up is just because, if your mentality isn't right and, you're coming in here facing this guy, you might not have really seen too much about him or know too much about him. That unknown, might come into factor here. But I'm leaning Tom Breese in here. I don't really have too good of a read on this fight, to be honest with you guys. But like you said, the value is definitely on KB. This might be just a huge underdog card where a lot of, plus 200 underdogs, just come through the entire card. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm leaning Tom Breese if he shows up mentally right and ready to go. But values on KB.
So when Tom Breese last fought a couple years ago against our boy Dan Kelly, right? That was Dan Kelly's last fight, kind of retired him, put him down. His last win, not his last fight, sorry. Lost to Brendan Allen earlier this year. I look at him in an 11-2 record, but I look at the layoffs and then I look at who he's beaten, and I think as long as he's there and he's in shape and like you said, like he's there mentally, there's a reason why he's a big favorite. But then you look at KB. I like those guys that are willing to take short notice fights.
Yeah.
They already have something scheduled on the Dana White Contender Series for next month.
Yeah.
And I like guys that are willing to bet on themselves, and he's gambling a little bit, right? He loses his UFC debut and doesn't do great on his Dana White Contender Series. Like that's probably that's probably head back to the minor leagues for a while, bud. I like guys that are willing to bet on themselves. I'm going to take KB. I'm going to take KB as an underdog on this fight, just because I like the confidence level of where he's at, and I like the dudes betting on themselves.
Yeah, I appreciate the confidence. I think he's a well-rounded fighter, and there are some big positives to looking at Bhullar. He's 8-0, he's undefeated. His last fight was a 5-round decision victory, I believe. Yeah, yep, 5-round decision victory. So that was a championship length fight. So he does have the. We know he's at least got the endurance to go for a full 5 rounds and win a fight at the end of it. So you like to see that. But Breese is a real big dude. I don't know how he fought at welterweight, but
Right.
I'm sure moving up to middleweight was a good decision for his power. He's got a variety of ways to finish. He's got 6 submission wins. He's got 4 TKO wins. Like I was just saying during our discussion of the last fight, I think some of the submission wins might be because he was just a really big, strong dude that managed to get a hold of somebody's neck.
Right.
But still, if he's willing to go for that and he doesn't need it to be on the feet, that's a good thing to see. He's got great boxing combinations. He's got a really powerful left hand. I'm taking Breese with a TKO in the second round. I think he's too big. He's too strong. I think Breese is just the better fighter in this matchup, and I don't see a path to victory for Bhullar.